pense que c'est 9. C'est ça 9? NoReset 9, ouais, c'est ça. Type. C'est fait. Is this going? This is going. Ok. Fait que là, mettons que je check là. Le son, ça dit quoi, genre? Si je load un stage puis je parle en même temps. Le son, ça dit quoi? Fait que là. Ah, le son est tellement pas fort. Je vais monter le. Ouais, on l'entend à peine. Genre ma voix est quand même solide là, mais on n'entend pas le son. Ça c'est mieux. Ouais, je sais. Mais je pense que de même c'est bon. C'était important qu'on entende le son puis tout ça. Je vais peut-être même le descendre de genre 2%. Non, même c'est parfait, je pense. Bon, ok. Bon. Welcome to a Super Monkey Ball Ultimate Speedrun. The Ultimate mode composes of all of the other modes put together. And so you'll start with beginner, and then once you're finished with beginner, you move on to advanced, and so forth. So without any further ado, let me just set the number of lives, and then let the run begin. In 1 second, I actually have to check something first. Okay, we're good. So as I was saying earlier, this game is a is a combination. This run is a combination of all the other modes in the game. So you're basically doing every single stage the game has to offer with skips. Like you can just see there, I skipped the 3rd stage. There is going to be a lot of skips in this game. Not like so many that you don't see most of the game, but still a lot so that I can finish this game in a reasonable fashion. So the premise of Monkey Ball, as you can see, is just to get the monkey in the goal, and then you can use the edges of your stick, so going upright or up left, that's called boosting, and when you hit a wall, you gain speed by boosting compared to just going forwards. I can always see where my monkey is with the map, so that's a nice feature as well. This game is a combination, so just a little bit of history, since we're in the beginning parts of the one where it's easier. Oops. So this game is basically Amusement Vision, the developers for this game. They made Monkey Ball 1 for GameCube, and then they made Monkey Ball 2 for GameCube as well. And then that was a lucky shot. And then they were working on Monkey Ball 3, but at some point the developers realized that they weren't gonna be able to finish Monkey Ball 3, And so they took all of the stages that were planned for that game and all of the stages that were on Monkey Ball 1 and in Monkey Ball 2, and they all jammed all of those together to create this game, which is basically the equivalent of having all of the games in like one part. And this mode, Ultimate, is basically every single stage of every single Monkey Ball game up to this point, of course, because afterwards there were other Monkey Ball games and everything. The goal of this run is to finish in under an hour 30. My personal best is an hour 21 minutes, which is pretty good, but it's still improvable. There are multiple, so this is a pretty nice strat where you use the corner to, clip, just like that. It saves around 10 seconds. And as you'll see further on in the run, I use pause buffering to... Actually, I'll wait for the first instance of that to explain it. So yeah, so in beginner, there is always, after every part, there's always an extra, which is a 20 level segment where they take all of the extra stages from Monkey Ball 1, so 10 stages, and then the 10 stages from Monkey Ball 2, and then jam those together, and that makes your extra. This is a nice stage, pretty quick. The beginner stages are always going to be, or most of them, some are pretty hard with the strats that I attempt, but most of them are pretty easy. Like this one is just like like that. 55 is a really good time. And so how this game works is they put, so this is a Monkey Ball 2 stage, just like that. And so you do 10 stages of Monkey Ball 1, and then you do 10 stages of Monkey Ball 2. So after this bonus stage, I'll be on Monkey Ball 1 stages. And then basically that's just how it goes. And since you do each mode like one at a time, you will see all of the levels, the world themes, multiple times, which is a very nice feature in my opinion, because it's not like other games where usually you see the first grass world and then once you're finished with that you never go back to the grass world again. So compared to that game, this one is since you're doing beginner and beginner has stages from every single world type, you basically get all of the world types like 4 times or 3 times actually, yeah, because Master, the final world, or the final difficulty setting I should say, has its own world types. So we're coming up on a couple stages that are pretty, I won't say scary, but they're definitely nice strats that I am looking forward to showcasing. This is a little skip you can do to skip the first like 2/3 of the stage. Okay, so by doing wall bounces and using boosts, you can gain enough speed to just clip like that and hit the goal. Pretty nice strat. And then the same thing for this stage, where you will use wall bounces, or one wall bounce. If I can get it. Ah, that's bad. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can't back this up. Oh, okay. It's fine. That's why you put 99 lives. You never know when you're gonna need to die. Not need, but whatever. You guys understand. So this... Oops. You're supposed to get a hole in one there. Not the end of the world. It still finishes in a relatively quickly. So one of the best things of this game, in my opinion, is the music. I really wanted to make sure that we could hear the music even if I was talking all the time, so I wanted to put the game a little bit the volume a bit higher. This is a stage that you can save 10 seconds on if you're really quickly doing these corners. But since I'm not, I won't say that I'm not good enough. It's since I haven't practiced it enough yet. I'm not consistent enough, so I won't be going for that strat. But as you can see, you can almost reach it there in time. But since I can't, it requires a lot of good corners, and it also requires good movement throughout the whole stage, and it saves around 10 seconds. So those were the first couple of stages that were, you could definitely say they're a bit harder than like the first like 20 or so stages. So in this stage is just a maze stage that I have memorized, but the upcoming stage I'm going to take this time to explain how pause buffering works. So in this game you have the timer that is on at the top of the screen, and when you pause you are always going to get the same digits. So in this specific instance I want to hit 96 or 86, so I missed it, so I'll show you the backup, which is just waiting for this goal to slow down a little bit like that. I will have multiple chances to show you guys pause buffering, and so basically you're looking for specific frames on the timer. Once you see the frame you're looking for, you use the stick to hold specific angles, and then if your stick angle is correct and you got the correct frame, usually it'll solve the, not solve, but it'll complete the stage for you. So in beginner there are only 5 or 6 pause buffering strats, which is not that many, but in advanced there's like 10 or so, maybe even more than 10, and in expert there's a couple. I think there's like 5 or 6 in expert. There's always more pause buffer strats that I could implement if I wanted to, but for now this is good for me. This is a really nice stage, so we're going to go say hi to the fish. Hi fish! And then use this little part that's in front of the fish to save. I'm not even sure how much time this saves. Yeah, I was supposed to get directly into the goal, but it's always better to bounce like that rather than to bounce on the party ball and then get flinged into the dead pits. So this is another pretty straightforward level. And then, so as you can see, oh, oops, well that happens to the best of them. It's not that bad of a time loss, a couple seconds at most. Okay, so yeah, go on this part like that. There we go. So not 37, not 38, but 39 actually is a really nice pause buffer stage that I hope I can get first try. If I don't get first try, not really a matter, because I can just kill myself and start again. So, fuck. I had to get a frame perfect pause there. Oh fuck, what am I doing? Sorry for the swearing. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be swearing or not. Let's say I'm not. Let's say I'm not, just to be sure. Oh fuck. Again. Okay, so this is fine. It's no worries whatsoever. There we go. So that's the catwalk. It saves around 20 seconds and it looks pretty cool. This is the final stage for the first part of the run. First beginner part. Just a little, almost like a pinball type thing. And so after, once you see the final stage, you can't skip this part. It's just a little cutscene. And then it says, oh, you used no continues, so let's move on. So this is the first of 4 different extra stages. The first couple of extra stages are pretty easy, nothing really to mention other than the music being really good for these stages. This is a pretty interesting strat that saves around 0.3 seconds compared to going the other side. And so these first levels that we've seen, the AV logo, the first one and the one before this, are ones that for some reason you play them in every difficulty for extra stages. This is a pretty weird level where it would seem pretty easy, but it's very easy to die on that stage. And so for this stage, we're just waiting for this part to lower like that. I wanna, while this run is still in its beginning parts, I wanna give a shout out to Jeff. He's probably not listening to this, most likely not, but 10 years ago, he was at a GDQ and he ran Monkey Ball Deluxe, the same that I'm doing right now. And it was very inspiring for me, something that ever since I watched his run, I was looking for a copy of this game because I wanted to play it. It seemed like the best Monkey Ball experience you could get. And surprisingly, finding a copy of... Oops. So yeah, I missed the switch. Finding a copy of this game for original Xbox is not easy, is not the easiest task. So we're almost at... So this is a stage that has 2 goals. We're using the side walls like that to get enough speed to clear the gap. And so yeah, thank you Jeff for showing me this awesome game and being an awesome person to run it. Currently, so this game is pretty inactive. So this is a very nice pause strat. Very lenient too. So just like that, so this kind of gives a better idea of what pause strats are supposed to look like. Generally, you're holding an angle at the beginning of the stage, and then you're looking for a timer. You're looking at the timer. Once you get the correct frame, you readjust, and then usually you get a hole-in-one pretty quickly. This is one of the longer stages in beginner, just because it's such so many parts to it. So for some reason, oops, wow, that was very close. I almost thought I was dead. But still got 31. I'm going to mention this just for the sake of mentioning it, even though it's not going to be relevant for the marathon. As you can see, I have my splits on the left side of the screen. So underneath my splits is a recording of my best time. So I can always see if I'm ahead or behind of my best time. It's also a spoiler for all of the strats that I'll be doing, since it's probably going to be ahead of me. This is a really nice strat where you use this part to skip the cycle. Otherwise, you'd have to wait for the blocks to go down again here. This is a pretty nice stage. You can get a pretty nice speed boost from these platforms. What am I doing? I don't even know why I tried to go for that cycle. So there is multiple cycles you can get for this stage, depending on how quickly you're going. Yeah, I'm not gonna get the 48 cycle. Yeah. No worries whatsoever. So this is, for some reason, I'm not sure, this has to be intentional, but if you just hold up during this stage, it just clears it. You don't need to move anything, you can just hold up. It has to be intentionally spooky, make people be scared of going through there. So this is a pretty simple stage. Just use these little seesaws. Okay, so this is a pretty nice stage where I can skip hitting the button if I play very well. So it's important to keep your speed. I know I lost a lot of speed there, but just like that. Saves around 10-15 seconds. So that is beginner extra. So after these extra stages, you're always going to have a little cutscene of II being happy, which I always skip, of course, because you're trying to go fast. And now we're on to the advanced stages. So you'll see that at the beginning it says Ultimate 62 here, but if you're looking at the bottom it says just 2, because the game just has us play through advance with the ultimate setting, so it like won't change the number at the bottom of the screen, but it will change it at in the level intro. Something I forgot to mention is that, wait, give me 1 second, I just want to hit the pause buffer here. So something I forgot to mention is that in every single stage intro, you're always holding the A button, because it makes the intro stage go twice as fast. And I'm always hitting the A button to skip the cutscene at the very end. This is a level very similar to one of the first levels, just a little back holding. There are level types that do come back. So this level, for example, where you're going down a hill with like stuff or obstacles to stop you, there is a version of this level that is way harder. This is a 2-frame trick like that, where you can skip the cycle and get onto this part earlier. What am I doing? That was pretty funny. If you're really good at balancing, you can go to the right here and save the upcoming bonus level, but I have not practiced it enough for it to be worth it for me to go there. So it's easier just to hit this part. This is a pretty annoying bonus stage. There are a couple frames that work. Like this frame works, but if you miss that frame, you kind of have to just hope you get sent outside. So something I also forgot to mention is every 10th level we have a bonus stage, and the bonus stage, even though there are goals in them which helps finish the stage, the goals don't actually do anything. So we're always going to die when we enter a bonus stage. It's the fastest way to exit it. So this is another pause buffer strat, just like that, and then you can go to the bottom here. Please don't die. Very nice. This is another pause strat. I really hope I can get this one. This really nice pause strat. Okay, so that's 1. Okay, so that's 2. Oh my god, what? Okay, sometimes that happens. Okay, that's 1. Yeah, so in the case that I missed the second buffer, it still saves a couple seconds because it puts me at the latter half of the stage. So that's it for desert. Now we're on to this stage where it looks like a long stage, but in reality you can just clip here. Oops, maybe that would have worked actually. Yeah, okay, it's fine. This can be a tricky stage. Sometimes it's... Wow, okay. Okay, just like that. So, yeah. Just a little clip there. It saves going through the entirety of the other part. Wow, that was a nice bounce. That's what you're looking for, but it's hard to make it work all the time. Because depending on your speed, your angle, and everything else, it will change the way the monkey bounces. So this little bounce there you can use to skip the stage. This is a maze type stage that was added in Monkey Ball 3. A lot of the stages that they added in Monkey Ball 3 are more of these maze type stages where you have to remember where to go. Of course, I have all of them memorized, but when you're first like learning it, definitely can be a bit annoying to try to figure out where to go. This is another bonus stage that we skip. Now we're on to the fire world, or volcano world I should say instead. Oh, I hate. So yeah, sometimes you can get a weird bounce there and just it sends you flying the wrong side. But this is what you're supposed to do. This is another pretty simple stage where you just hold the right wall here. Just like that. And then in this stage, just hoppers, you have to not get hit by them. It's an instant KO if you get hit by them. And then in this upcoming stage, it's a pause buffer strat where we fall off. Just like that with a perfect pause, and then another perfect pause, and then just like that, it's a crazy nice goal. This is a pretty simple stage. Yeah, this is just basic stuff. I guess I can still mention it still. So 100 bananas gives you an extra life, which would be useful if I did not have 99 lives already. This is a pretty nice level. Just look at II spin. I'm sure he's loving it. So this stage has 3 different goals in it. You want to slow down time, and then the movement here is not necessarily precise, it's more so rhythm based, so you want to get here at the correct timing, and this might not even work. I am pretty far from the goal. Yeah, that can happen. So yeah, like the same time, I was not going fast enough, that's why. You're supposed to start from further back, like that. Just like that, an easy clear. So now we're done with these types of stages. Let's go on to the next type. Monkey Mall segment. Let me just drink. This is a pretty cool stage where you just get into the goal super easily. Look at the burger cube there and the monkeys. Pretty funny looking at them. It almost looks like they're dancing or something. This has to be one of my favorite world types. This is a pretty weird level where it really checks how you're moving your stick. So I move the stick just a little bit enough so that it moves the bumpers but not II. This is a little stage where you can skip most of it if you get a good bounce, which I did. But wow, that was very scary. Once you get really used to this game, you can like know if your stage went well or not looking at the timer. So for example, this stage I know you can get above 50, so that was not the best, but still fine. This is another stage where you skip most of it, just a little thing like that, and then here you can just fall. This has to be planned by the devs, right? The way it's positioned and everything, it has to be planned. This is a 1 frame pause buffer strat that I got first try, apparently. Oops, never mind, I didn't get it first try. You can always back it up if you miss the frame, like that. If I missed this frame, just like that, skips a couple stages. So these upcoming stages are water stages from Monkey Ball 2. So the first, 41, 42 are pretty simple stages that are pretty easy. Nothing super complicated except knowing the timing of when to hold up. Just like that. This next one is just about bouncing correctly, but 43 dribbles is definitely one of the harder stages in the entire run. I'm gonna take a little bit of time here to explain. So the next stage, there's multiple bouncing balls, and we use the first bouncing ball to either hit us directly into the goal or hit us into a later part of the run. So let's see which frame I get. So yeah, that was not the correct frame to hit us directly into the goal, but oops, yeah. It's very hard to get like this consistent. It's definitely one of the harder stages. Hopefully I can get... Nah, I messed it up again. As long as I... Wow, that would have been crazy. It's fine. I'm allowed to die multiple times without it being very... this is death. So you're looking for a specific frame, and then this strat is a 3 frame perfect strat. Yeah, I'm not so good at this version. I'm better at the other version, but the other version requires you to get the correct frame. Again. Wow. Yeah, I'm dead. That would have been crazy. So this, you might see like, oh, I've died like 5 times here already. But this stage really is like, not random. I won't say it's random, but it definitely can feel random when you're trying to get the correct frame and you're always missing it by 1 early or 1 late or... So yeah, that's one of the strats that can go. This is not one of the strats, but still works. Hopefully I can show you guys what the correct strat is during the marathon. This is just a simple stage where there are multiple goals and you have to not get hit by the rings like that. Well. So using boosts like that, you can get to the final stage without getting hit. Now we're on to the clockwork stages. There are not many clockwork stages in advanced, but in expert there are a lot of clockwork stages, and it has to be the coolest segment, or one of the coolest segments of the entire run. So this is another pause buffer strat. You want to hit a specific... There's technically 4 frames that work, but there are more realistically just 2 that I use. It skips 1 stage, skips the bonus stage basically. And then here we are in the Monkey Ball 1 water stages. These are pretty easy. Most of them are pretty easy. Even this one, which looks a little bit longer, you can just use a bounce here to go to the final part of the stage. Very nice. This stage, this version of the stage is very easy, but in Expert there's one similar to this, which is way harder. Not hard enough for it to be like super difficult, but definitely harder than the advanced version. This is another stage which has a very long stage, but in theory you can just use that bounce and skip it. So these are another sets of stages that are pretty fast. Most of these only last like 4 to 5 seconds. Here you can skip cycles if your timing is correct. And then this is another like 2-second stage where you just go to the right here, use a little bounce, and it puts you into the goal. This is literally the shortest stage in the entire game. Just hold right and it takes like a second to finish. This is the worst stage in the game. I wasn't talking there, I was really focusing on trying to get the correct frame. So you're really looking for specifically 86 or 85. With either of those, you can hold up left and just exit. Otherwise, you're stuck in that box for almost the entirety of the stage. It is possible to exit the stage without the pause buffer, but it is, I will say, difficult and mostly just about luck. So that was a nice stage that I just did. This is another nice stage where you basically just go super fast to the ending. Oops. You get the idea. That was almost it. This does lose a little bit of time, but at least I didn't die. So this is another pause buffer stage where you're looking for either 2 frames, like that. That was one of the frames. And then just hold up here, and it puts you directly into the goal. Pretty nice time. Technically, you can just hold up in this stage, but if after the first bounce you go right, it saves 1 second. Oops. So never mind. That was not the 1 second save, but still. This is a very cool stage where you go to the back of this and then get hit by one of the bumpers, and then it skips the cycle and it puts you directly here. If you're skilled enough, you can fall into the goal directly, but it's not something that I would risk for in a marathon run. So in this stage, you're looking for specific frames. Yep, I got it. And very simple, just hold up. We're also back to the nice music. So fun fact, this music was originally in the Arctic stages, but for some reason, when they were making this game, they swapped the music for space and Arctic. So now we're listening to this. This is another pause strat where you hit a specific frame and just fall into the goal. Very nice, very nice. And this is the final level. You want to curve a lot here to save the cycle. Just like that. Very nice. Very nice. So that was advanced. Now we're on to advanced extra.
Ready?
So like I was saying earlier, these first couple of stages are always going to be the same. It is possible to finish that stage a little bit faster, but I have not practiced it enough. So the first version of this stage, that flipper was going pretty slowly. In the advanced and expert version of the stage, the flipper goes way faster. This is a pause buffer stage. Hopefully I can get it first try. I did. You want to just clip and it saves literally 50 seconds. Because this stage is a stage that is supposed to take the entirety of the timer. it's even possible that you don't make it if you're not quickly enough turning or your angle is not good and stuff like that. So this is a stage that looks like to be very long, but in reality, oops, in reality you can just get a simple bounce and it basically puts you directly into the goal. Similar to that, but not quite. Oh, what am I doing?
Ready?
This is definitely a harder stage, as you can tell. Just, oh wow. Maybe if I hadn't hold up there. There we go, just like that. Couple deaths, but it's fine. Okay, so Advanced Extra definitely is one of the harder segments of the run. I would put it next to Master in terms of difficulty. So you have the stage that I was just in, the stage before that which was a double frame perfect stage, and then right after those you have this stage which is super timing based. Wow, that was very lucky. Usually when you get hit by the door, you instantly just die, but sometimes it just sends you back. So here I'll try to get a little bounce on this switch without hitting it. Very nice. So we're coming up to a segment of pause buffer stages. This is just another cycle based stage where you can save the cycle, but it's so hard and doesn't save that much time. It's not worth it in my opinion. So here is a one-time strat that if I don't get it, I can't really do it again. Hopefully I can get it. I messed it up. So that strat, what I was going for is, you see the goal is right there to the left, to the right I mean. You basically just roll into the goal while it's upside down. But since I messed it up, this is the usual, this is how the developers intended for you to finish the stage. So on this stage, you're looking for a specific frame. Not that one. It saves so much time that it's worth it for me to start over like that to try to get the correct frame. So here there's 3 frames that work. That was it, just like that. Very nice. So this stage, Chaos, really suits its name. Hopefully I can get this. I messed it up. Yeah, so you can clip there and go to that part. It saves around 15 seconds. So this is a very long stage. This is most likely the longest stage in the game. Especially if you mess up the clip at the beginning, which I did mess up. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of... Okay. So yeah, this is just like me memorizing where to go if you mess up the beginning. So usually when you finish this stage with the clip, you finish with either 25, 24, 23, around that. And as you can see, I finished with only 6 seconds left, which is a bit more than 15 seconds. So here I messed up the strat. I'm gonna go for a backup. Usually you just hold up and you basically get enough speed to directly go into the goal, but getting that backup doesn't cost very much time, so it's not bad. This is a very simple stage, just hold the right. This is a very nice stage, kind of unintuitive if you're trying to figure out by yourself how you're supposed to get to that top part over there, but with the power of community, that's also another thing that is very fun about this game. This is a pause buffer strat, just like that. So since this game is just about the control stick, you You use the A button and start buttons to pause buffer, of course, but other than that, it's just the control stick. It's very easy, or somewhat easy, I would say actually, to look at someone's run and try to copy the movement. Since it's only about stick movement, it limits the difficulty of trying to figure out how they're executing it. This is a very simple stage, just like that. Saves a lot of time versus falling down there. This is another pause buffer stage. And I know I've been blazing through these, but the reality is these pause buffer stages, if you die in them or if you have to start over, it's very easy to lose a lot of time. This stage is just about knowing where to go, position yourself. So that is Advanced Extra. So this is about the halfway mark of the run. There are 300 stages in total, and as you can see, 150 makes sense for it to be the halfway mark. Now, of course, beginner and extra and advanced are always going to be the easier parts of the run. That's definitely always going to be the case. Now, oops, let me just try not to die here. Okay, so beginner was 60 levels including extra. Advanced was 90 levels including extra. Expert is a whopping 100 levels plus extra, which means that expert is just by itself more than a half, or a bit less than half of the game. So you could count it by yourself if you wanted to, like 120 over 300. What percentage is that? I would say maybe 40%. So yeah, expert is not only the longest segment of the run, but also the hardest segment of the run, and it's just hard because there's so many different stages and it's so easy to die. So I'm just gonna try to explain this concept that I thought about when I started running this game. So beginner stages are always going to be easy, that's of course obvious. Let's see if I can't get this. There we go. Okay, so 25 is pretty slow, but it doesn't really matter as long as we're moving. This is another really nice stage where you just fall here and then you basically land on the final part and you can just go here. So okay, so as I was saying earlier, so beginner stages are super easy, nothing really to mention there.
Ready?
A little pause buffer strat. Just like that. Advanced stages are a bit harder, but not hard enough for it to be die or try, right? So if you fail an advanced stage, most of the time you just land on another part of the stage and you can keep going from there. But for some reason, or not for some reason, but in expert, almost all of the stages, if you make a mistake, so first of all, the expert stages are longer than most other stages in general. If you make a mistake in an expert stage, most of the time you will die. Compared to beginner or advanced, where you will not die as often, here if you get a correct clip, you can skip to the top platform, but I did not get a correct clip. Okay, so basically now we're on expert. Expert stages are difficult, like I was mentioning earlier. This is a very nice stage that suits its name very well. Free fall. Hopefully I can get this first try. Oops. Hopefully I can. Yeah, okay, I'm dead.
Ready?
Very nice stage. Just a little bit of just like that. Very nice. So most of the time you will die during expert, and So what I was trying to mention earlier is compared to Master, which is technically the harder stages of the run. So Master stages are very difficult, but are also pretty short in comparison to Expert stages. And that fact basically makes it so that Master stages have kind of developed strats where if you follow the strat, you will finish the stage 90% of the time. Compared to Expert, where even if you do know the strat, like this strat for example, oops, yeah, of course I was gonna die. I can try to finish, but I'm not sure I'll have enough time. Oh my god, wow, that was pretty bad. Let's see. I'm dead. Yep. Okay, let's just restart this stage. This is the stage that if you do fail, it can become very finicky because that top platform bounces pretty quickly. After you land on it, you have to enter the goal in like the 1 second that you have. There we go. Just like that. It does also skip like 2 stages to do that. This is a little stage where you actually have to hold down. Very rare for stages to want you to wait before going. This is another stage that is very fun to watch. I think. You just position here and generally use the slopes to your advantage.
Ready?
This is a very long bonus stage if I did do it, but at heureusement we have an easy exit. So here we are in the Monkey Ball 1 water stages. This is a cycle based stage where you can save time if you're going really quickly, but as you can see I didn't make it this time, so we're just going to go for the slower cycle. So this is a version of the same stage as in Advanced, but it's even shorter because the clip is earlier. This is a stage that doesn't look to be very difficult, but in reality, once you get hit once by the bumpers, very difficult to reposition yourself and finish it. This is one of the other stages that is the shortest, with one of the advanced stages that I mentioned earlier. A very fun stage again here where you just fall off and position yourself right. So a lot of these advanced or expert stages are somewhat simple. Here you can go 3 and then 2, and that is one of the faster ways you can finish the stage. It's possible to go for 2 cycles, but I am not good enough and I haven't practiced it. So this is the stage I was referring to earlier. Pretty difficult. As long as you keep your angles right, you're always going to be okay in that stage. Here is one of the few pause buffer stage for expert, and I messed it up. Oops, what am I doing? It's fine. Just like that. Simple. This is a stage that is pretty simple to die. It looks very easy. It's just about going right or left. But if you don't position yourself very precisely, you're gonna get hit by the side walls and die. Like I did. Another bonus stage. I'm trying to remember if there was other stuff that I wanted to mention. So this is a very simple stage with 2 goals. You want to go to the back goal because it skips a very long level. This is a stage that is almost impossible if you're just trying to eyeball it, but when you know where you're going, it's very simple.
Ready?
Oh wow, yeah.
Ready?
Once again, so I might be talking a bit less during expert, just because obviously these stages are harder
Ready?
and they require more focus. Just like that. So a high 49 there is a decent time, very decent. This is a very nice stage as well, where you just let go of the stick and then it clips you directly at the beginning, at the ending of the stage.
Ready?
So I didn't really mention this world type before, but right now we are inside a whale. As you can see, there's a blowhole and there are the bones and everything. The whale also has civilizations in its stomach right there to the left, you can see it. And it also has very good music, I think. Especially for just like trying to focus on playing well and everything. Definitely one of the nicer world settings. Just like a level where you have to wait for the cycle, so there's not much going on.
Ready?
Another bonus stage, we just skip it.
Bonus finish.
So here we are in the desert stages. So as you can see, this game was developed by Sega, or published, I should say, by Sega. Developed by Amusement Vision. The fantastic people who also made F-Zero GX. And those games, so GX, Monkey Ball, are the only games that studio has made. Which is, I guess, about them making great games and then stopping before they make a bad game. So their only games are just like really good games. This is a very just like long stage where technically you wanna not get the bananas because it saves a little bit of time to cut the corners like that. But it can be difficult to cut the corners correctly here. So grabbing bananas is like a sign that you messed up the corner. This is a stage where you can go a bit faster, but it is pretty difficult. I want to mention the mirages in the background. So at right or left there, we see there's like water and everything. It almost looks like not a mirage, but an oasis is what I was thinking of. Very nice stage here. You just fall at the bottom and then fall at the bottom again. Very nice. So I have already been going for as long as the advanced segment is, and I'm not even halfway done with this segment. Just goes to show how long expert really is. Just to give you guys an idea of the times. So beginner is around 10 to 11 minutes. Beginner is 10 to 11 minutes. Advanced is 16 to 17 minutes. And expert is a whole 26 minutes to 27. You can definitely finish it faster. You could get like 12 or I mean, you can definitely get like 20, 25s or maybe even 24 if you're really good at the game, but
Ready?
obviously that's going to be pretty difficult.
Bonus finish.
It requires not dying much.
Ready?
It requires playing very well. So now we're on the a pack of Monkey Ball 2 stages.
Ready?
This one obstacle is a very nice stage because it doesn't really have stuff that you usually do.
Ready?
Let's just ignore that. So instead of going to the top of that platform to the left, we're just gonna go about halfway. And then once we're halfway, you just fall off and get into the goal like that. This
Ready?
domino is a pretty simple stage. You just want to hit the switch, and then I'm not sure if they thought about this, but you can basically just hold the edge of that part and just go to the very end.
Ready?
This is another not rhythm but cycle based stage where the I'll say bumpers on the side there. So if I get hit by that, it's an instant KO. So it's very important for me to stay straight here, or the most straight I can be. And then just like that. So this is a pause buffer strat. Probably one of the most iconic pause buffer strats in the entire game. Just because it's the oldest pause buffer strat. So I'm looking for 61 here. It's normal to have to reset a couple times. Okay. So once you get the digit, let's see if I can get the hole in one. Very nice. It's very easy to hit the edges of the goal or even the party ball and then get flung off stage and die, or get flung back onto the rotating, or should I say moving squares. Gladly I did get it. In this stage it is possible to get a cycle faster, but it is one of the harder cycles to skip in the entire run, which is why I haven't learned it yet. So here, well, never mind. I'm gonna try it anyway. Wow, I have... Okay, so that is pretty funny because normally I go to the left side of that stage, and that was the first time ever I was going to the right, so I wasn't sure I was gonna make it. This is one of my favorite levels, just because the way the camera moves and everything, it really does feel like you're in a roller coaster type environment. Trying to position yourself correctly. Oops. Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Ready?
Trying to position yourself correctly so that you can get the maximum amount of speed going downhill. Wow. Okay, maybe I'll try to focus just a little bit here. I do want to keep this entertaining for y'all as much as I can. Okay, so that's it. You want to keep max speed to get the top part here. And here we are, 61, otherwise known as curvature.
Ready?
This stage might look very easy at first. This part is very wide, but as the further in you get, the slimmer the platform becomes, until it becomes so slim that you basically cannot move the stick in any other direction because you will just die. That was pretty, I would say lucky generally, but I have practiced that stage so much that it's honestly more skill than luck. But it is luck because, oops, maybe I can not die? Oh, I think I'm dead. Maybe I'm not dead. Oh fuck. Okay, now I'm definitely. Well, okay. Usually that's supposed to be a pretty simple stage where that only takes like a couple seconds, but it's fine. But yeah, to finish what I was saying about curvature before, when you get on that last little bit of stage, if your angle is not 95% straight or very, very close to straight, you will just fall off because you don't have enough time to react. So this game, just to get a bit of like not technical, but I'm not quite sure what term I should use. This game is all about reactions. So when you're moving, you always react to where II is, and sometimes it's easy to overreact. So when you're holding the stick, if you see that you're too far to the left, you're gonna react by holding right. But if you hold right too long, you're gonna have to react by holding left. And so it's all about knowing how long you need to hold a direction for you to be able to react to what part of the stage you're currently on. So here, I know that if I hold right too long, I'll just die. And so that might sound like super obvious, but when you're on very, very slim platforms, like at the beginning of this segment, the stage that was in Monkey Mall or Curvature, or there are a couple other stages that are also like that, you don't have time to react to how far along you are in each side. And so it basically makes it a game of, if you cannot get the correct angle instantly, you're almost always going to die. It is possible to adjust. A quick pause frame here, super simple, very, very easy. But yeah, it is possible to get the correct angle and then react. But most of the time, you're just going to die. I wanted to mention also that we are currently in Clockwork. And these stages, so that one 71, this one 72, 73, I skipped 74, so 75. All of these stages are pretty hard, honestly. And I just love so much the aesthetic of the bells there. Or this is definitely, if you guys want to look at one of the coolest stages. Oops, yeah, whatever. So this is a triple frame perfect pause buffer strat. That is so cool. So I messed up the first frame, but you can definitely save it even if you mess it up. So let's see how long it takes for me to get this. There you go, that's one. That's not two. Yeah, so close. You're kind of seeing what I'm going for. Oh, can I get it, please? Oh, that was very close. It's fine. Just like that. So I did mention that these stages were difficult, so please bear with me if I do die a couple times on this one. So this is... okay. Just like that. So this saves like 40 seconds, because the stage that I skipped takes like 30 seconds to complete. And it saves time to do that strat compared to getting the other goal. So it's a very nice segment. But it's very easy to mess up and die on that stage. And these remaining Clockwork stages, 78, 79, are pretty simple. This one you can save a little bit of time if you get a nice clip here. Like that. It puts you directly into this part. Maybe saves like a second. So this stage has 3 different goals. But usually when there are multiple goals, you want to hit the last goal, but this is the only case in which I hit the middle goal because it brings me to this stage, which has a triple frame perfect or triple different frame to get to this stage, and then 84 brings me to 85, and then 85 makes me skip another stage. So realistically, when you're doing this part, if you get the first stage and you skip it, you have to do more stages basically, which is why I do this instead. Here we have a little bit of time where I can mention the statues in the background. So there's that one there, there's that big one there, it kind of looks like Smo from Dark Souls. There's also a couple different like statues that don't really have like names or stuff like that. I'm not really sure why, but it just adds a little bit of flavor to the stage. While I'm talking, you guys can currently hear the song, sorry about that, the song for Storm, which is this level setting. Definitely one of the best songs in the game with Arctic, in my opinion. Too bad, since most of these stages are very short, like 5 to 10 second stages, you don't get to hear this song as often as I would like to, but it is what it is. So here we are approaching the final set of 10 stages of Expert. As you can see, I'm already at 26 minutes for this segment, so it is a very long segment. Very fun. This is a pretty simple stage. Most of these stages in the 90s are pretty simple. This one is just about you're looking for a specific amount of speed, not too much, not too little, so that when you hit here, it basically clips you directly into the goal. There is a pause buffer strat for this stage that clips you directly into the green goal, but I do not know it. Oops, wow. That's not something I've done before. That's never happened before. So instead, I just do this version. Wow. Okay, I've actually never done that before either. What's happening with this stage? A bunch of new deaths. That's how it's supposed to look, usually. So this is Guillotine. Guillotine is definitely one of the harder stages. It's easy to get hit by the guillotine, and also I'm trying to skip cycles. So here I'll try to go for 2, and then these ones are so big that you can't go for 2, but you can fall off here and skip that later part, that last little part, I mean. Corkscrew is pretty simple stage. It's just about not falling, which sounds obvious of course, but when you see the holes there, you wanna not fall into those. Can be pretty difficult if your angle is a bit off at the beginning. At least that was clean. This has to be one of the easier stages in the run. As long as you just hold up and slightly change your angle, you can basically skip the stage entirely. Here we are, Twin Basin, pretty simple stage. You can just, not just like that. Not a very complicated stage. Most of these final stages for Expert are pretty simple. Even this one, it looks like it would be difficult, but in reality, you just let go and the goal comes right to you. here we are on the final stage of Expert. Again, another really simple stage. I'm not sure why they decided it would be this stage, or like there's so many difficult stages earlier on in Expert. Kind of makes it weird to think that they did this one instead. So this is a stage all about speed. Here, there's a little bump there. You want to get a little bump there, and then you want to fall off to get a good number of speed. Okay, so this is gonna work. Just like that. Very nice. But it is a bit RNG if you do get a bounce. If you don't get a bounce, you're basically waiting for it to happen. Getting a bounce increases your speed, and if you don't have enough speed, you won't make the gap there. This is a pretty simple stage. Very precise on the positioning of II, but once you have the positioning down, it's just about holding up correctly. So this stage is pretty simple, but the next stage, Giant Swing, is a multiple frame buffer strat that saves so much time that it's worth dying 5 to 10 times for. Oh wait, I had it. I had the frame there. That's fine. Oops, yeah. So I'm looking for 36 here, the first one. Just like that. Oh, this is not gonna work, right? Yeah, okay, this is not gonna work.
Ready?
Please. It's fine.
Ready?
Yeah. Sometimes when you mess up a pause buffer strat a couple times, it can be a bit boring. I'll try it still. I'm not sure if this works or not. It did work. Very nice. Very nice.
Ready?
This stage is just about getting the right timing rather than positioning. You want to get a little bit of a clip there, and then it's just hold up. Of course, I'm always reacting to where I'm going. When I'm saying hold up, doesn't always just mean hold up. This is a multiple frame strat where, so this works. I'm just not even doing anything right now. Just look at II. Very nice goal. So this next stage, Construction, is definitely one of the hardest strats that I do in the run. Very easy to hold too much of a direction and not make the goal. You'll see what I mean in a couple seconds. But gladly, very nice there. This is another pause buffer stage. Very more lenient. Oh fuck. Yeah. Wow. I really thought I had that. There we go. Just like that. Simple enough. Now that's the first half of that segment. The second half, this second half is shorter. I would definitely say it's shorter. It also has a bunch of very nice extra stages. A lot of the extra stages, as you might have been able to tell, are kind of boring. Most of them are just like about holding up or very simple, but wow. These next 10 stages, almost all of them are very interesting stages that have nice designs to them that are difficult, yes, but very still doable. So once again, this stage where you're just waiting for it to slow down a bit. This is a very nice stage, but blink and you'll miss it. I like that strat so much. This is a multiple frame lenient trick. Just hold up and fall right into the goal there. Curly pipe. Sorry about that. It is possible to bounce on the pipe there and save 2 seconds, but not something I'm doing yet. I do want to mention while we're still here, we're almost done. This is a capsule in time that when I'm mentioning it, basically, so I'm going to have the entire summer off, or almost the entire summer off, and I'm going to stream Monkey Ball every single day during the summer, during my Monkey Madness. And so a lot of these strats where I say, oh, I'm not doing this because it's too difficult, or maybe in 2 months or 3 months, whenever the marathon is, I really wanted to get this, but sadly I messed it up. It is possible to get hit by that hammer and flung directly into the goal, but not the end of the world if you mess it up. Only costs around 5 to 10 seconds. And so since I'll be playing Monkey Ball for the entirety of the summer, there is a world where I learn a lot of new strats. Here we are, Master. This is a frame perfect strat. That saves. Yeah, I missed. It's fine, it's fine. So you can just back up, try to look at the mini-map. Just like that. Pretty clean backup I did there. It is possible to go backwards here like I did in one of the first stages of beginner, but I'm not quite sure about how to position myself, and so it's, well, it's simpler for me to just do it from the front. That was a pretty unlucky bounce that I got. Usually you just hold it up and you're going fast enough. This stage is pretty awkward if you're trying to learn it, but once you kind of get what you're supposed to be doing, it's simple. But I'm definitely going to die a couple times here at least, or maybe just once actually. So this stage, you might look at it and tell to yourself, where the hell is the goal? But I'm going to answer that question pretty quickly. There's the goal. Pretty nice strat there, if I do say so myself. This is a very simple stage. You're just holding up for the first half of it, and then kind of hold up right there. That could have been a couple frames faster, but it's fine. Here, you actually have to wait for 3 seconds at the very beginning for this to position itself a bit more, like, so that it's easier to stand on. So this is a pretty weird stage, but as long as you hold up during the 50s, you're good. So double twin is a pretty straightforward stage. You just want to go here and then that's pretty much the stage. This next stage, clock face, is a frame perfect stage. You want to hit a frame perfect strat here, like that, and then you can bounce directly into the goal, just like that. Very nice strat. I'm very happy I got that first try. It's very easy to mess up. Here, so first of all, we are in the Monkey Ball 1 expert stages. Secondly, I was going for a frame perfect strat there, where if you get the correct frame, you can just hold up and it finishes the stage around a second or a second and a half faster to what I did there, but even still it's pretty simple. I do have to say that these sets of stages are very fun, even though they are pretty difficult. I just love the Monkey Ball 1 Master stage aesthetic. This is probably the hardest stage in the game. Hopefully it won't take me too long. So I was looking for a frame there, I messed it up, so let's do the backup. Messed up the backup. It's fine. This is definitely a stage that you're going to die in a couple times. So this is the frame setup, and then instead of going all the way over there, I'm just gonna fall down right into the goal. That is a very clean Stamina Master. So these stage names are all something Master. This is a Bounce Master, Spring Master actually. Very nice. So all of these, or most of these stages, are pretty simple stage that lasts not more than 5 seconds. So this is what I was kind of saying earlier. During Expert, if you know what you're doing, it's still very easy to die. Compared to in Master, these stages are so short and so like what they're testing out of you is very specific stuff that if you get that first try, usually you won't die. But if you do mess it up, like in this stage, it is possible for me to die a couple times here because I'm looking for a very specific angle that I did get there. So this is a, believe it or not, if you go in the 30s like this one, you just hold up and it finishes it by itself. This next stage would definitely be one of the hardest stages in the game if it wasn't for this pause buffer strat that saves. It's not even about saving time, it's just about it being easier. And here is Monkey Master, final stage of Monkey Ball 1, just like that. Wow, this is a very clean Master segment. I do have to say I'm pretty happy with it. So here we are, the final 10 stages. But since I skip a couple of stages, it's only going to be 7. The final 7 stages. And this is the shortest segment in the entire run, lasting only 2 minutes. So here I am actually going to pause to check. 68 is a pretty good frame. Oops. So this upcoming stage definitely is one of the cooler stages for people who have not played this game or seen this game before. It's just a lot of free fall, but it looks almost impossible to hit this. But yeah, okay, so that was bad. Yeah, okay. It is standard-ish to die on this stage. So maybe just hold down a bit. Just like that, yeah. So now we're almost done. This is a, you have 3 frames of leniency, so 65 works. You can go for 68, 65, 66 on that stage. So here is a pretty weird stage. I did clear it first try. And so here is the final stage of the game. So during this final stage, I'm just going to mention that this is a Monkey Ball 2 stage that was changed a little bit for this version of the game. Oops, I'm dead. Yep, I'm dead. In the original version of Monkey Ball 2, this stage was a GameCube that opened its disc compartment when you finished it. When they ported this game to Xbox, because yes, I am playing on the original Xbox with a huge controller, they couldn't use the GameCube, so they changed it into a dice, and they made this last part, this last O, pretty big, so that when it does open, you see the goal, and that's it. That's Monkey Ball Deluxe Ultimate, pause buffered included, and now we have this nice cutscene of I and gang pretty happy, and this is their little dance. I'll leave it. Usually I skip all this, but since this is the showcase video, I wanted to thank you guys for watching this Monkey Ball speedrun. This game, I have been playing this game. I have been playing Monkey Ball for multiple, maybe 10 to 12 years at this point, on and off. But since I got back into speedrunning this Monkey Ball game, I've been playing it since last September, basically. And I have had so much fun playing this game. I think it's one of the best speed games out there because of the simple fact that it really was made to be a speedrun game. These guys, Amusement Vision, really did go all above and beyond to create a game that has so many different routes you could go for, so many different strats, and the physics engine really allows all of that to work, basically. And so I hope you guys did enjoy this. I really do hope. You have no idea. I really do hope I can get in the marathon, hopefully. But at the end of the day, you guys decide. But still, so thank you so very much for watching, and have a nice evening to y'all.